As Dustin likes to say, everybody loves
some sleepers.
You know what I'm
Slash undervalued.
But before we get into that, you've probably watched some of our other videos. If you haven't, this might be the first one some guys check out because everybody does love a sleeper. We're doing a Kickstarter campaign. So if you go to Kickstarter, type in Fantasy Football University, or you go to our website, fantasysmacktalk.com, you'll have a link to it as well. You know, there's a fun video on it, so you get to see us do some goofy stuff. There's great prizes, t-shirts, hoodies. There's even, if you donate X amount, then we will actually give you weekly personal advice about your fantasy football team. You can either get it from me or from this schmo.
Oh,
your choice.
That's not very nice.
But you're here to see sleepers. Please, anything you can do, bottom of our hearts, we really would appreciate it.
Sleeper time. First guy I'm going to talk about is Frary, the closer for the Angels. This is a guy that didn't have that great of a year last year compared to what he's done in the past, but when you look at what he has done in the past, he had a sub 2.5 ERA for his entire career coming up into last year, and his K rates are amazing. If he can get it figured out, he's still pretty young. If he can get it figured out, he could be a top 3 closer this year.
I'm also talking about a closer, and that's Koji Uehara. All right.
Good job, you said it right.
Yeah, I was practicing before the show. Red Sox fans, please pay attention and then go to Kickstarter. Yankees fans, close your ears for this one. But he had such an unbelievable season last year. I wanted to compare him to Mariano. And I hate to say this, Yankees fans, but Mariano never had an ERA as good as him. His ERA last year was 1.09. Never had a whip as good as him. It was 0.57. And
good.
Also, there was only one time that he had over 100 Ks, and that was back in 1996. That's Mariano. He did it last year, had 101 Ks. Obviously, I'm comparing him. Yankee fan, listen to the greatest closer of all time. Go to Kickstarter, please. So, again, where you can get this guy, if he repeats this, I mean, he could be pushing for #1 overall closer, certainly, this year.
Justin Masterson's the next guy we're going to talk about. Now, this isn't a guy that I think can move his game to the next level to where he's anywhere close to a top-tier pitcher, but I think he's certainly worth a look in the middle rounds as far as a guy that can give you a sub-3 ERA and about a K per inning. 12 starts after the All-Star break last year, he did have a sub-3 ERA and a K per inning, and he just kind of has that breakout potential this year that I think could definitely happen for him.
All right, next guy's Matt Adams, and if you owned him like I did last year, I'm sure every time he wasn't in the lineup, you were saying, why is he not playing?
Is that how you'd say it?
No, it would probably be worse than that. But he's going to be playing every day this year. Absolutely loving it. 300 at-bats last year, 17 bombs, 51 RBIs, and this is a solid kid. I normally say you can't double those numbers. I think there's a chance you could double those numbers. I think 30 bombs, 100 RBIs is very achievable for Matt Adams.
I'm going to talk about a catcher next, and that's Yan Gomes. This is just one of those young catchers that has a lot of potential. If you miss out on one of the top-tier guys, this is definitely going to be one of the guys that you want to grab in the later rounds as far as a youngster with an upside that could be, maybe a top-tier or top-2-tier guy next year. But in 300 at-bats last year, 31 extra base hits. So you got to like that. It might not give you the best batting average, but he certainly has, potential for hitting extra base hits and the long ball.
Another catcher, guy from the Braves, and that's Gaddis. He looks like he's going to be the everyday catcher. Looks like he's going to be batting cleanup. And last year he had 21 jacks and about 350 at bats, so that number should go up. This guy just swings for the fences, so I think that home run total could certainly go up. But again, same deal as Dustin was talking about, 250 batting average. Ain't going to be the greatest, but you're going to get a lot of power to catcher, which is certainly nice.
Moving right along, Adam Eaton. Now this is the guy that I just always
By the way, we do a draft prior to this about who gets to talk about
I'm
who.
sure everyone wants to hear this.
No, I think it's interesting that he was our #1 sleeper pick. You picked him first in our draft who we're going to talk about.
I want to talk about him.
Please tell him that's kind of interesting.
They don't care about that.
I think they do.
Adam Eaton. Now, I am a big fan of minor league stats. I like to look at minor league stats. Show me something in the minors before I think about putting you on my fantasy team. And he was unbelievable in the minors. Mike Trout type minor league numbers. And I think he still has the potential of carrying that into the bigs. And you're not going to have to pay even close to a hefty price tag for him on draft day. You're going to be able to get him really late. I think he's well worth the gamble.
Which is the key. Undervalued.
Undervalued.
Undervalued. That's where you can get him. Next guy, Calhoun. This is another outfielder that we think is significantly undervalued. And where you can get him in the draft is fantastic. Last year, 200 at-bats, he had 8 home runs, 17 extra base hits. He's only 26 years old. He should be the everyday, I believe, right fielder for the Angels. Really like this kid's upside. And again, where you can get him in the draft, like these other guys, it's where you can get them based on where we think the return of the value is going to be. That's why it's sleeper / undervalued. No one's really sleeper because everyone knows who everyone is. That's it. I ramble. Go ahead, Dustin. Sorry.
Brandon Belt, post-hype sleeper.
Love post-hype sleepers.
Love post-hype. I mean, this is a guy that came up, had a lot of attention around him, was decent. Last year, pretty solid, but this year could be even better. And one of the stats I always like to look at for youngsters is doubles, because a lot of times those doubles will start turning into home runs. And he had home runs last year, 17 of them, but he had 39 doubles. 39 doubles. Even if 10 of those turn into home runs this year, he's going to have a great year and be a great return on your investment.
So that's it. Those are our sleepers / undervalued bonus. Brett Laurie. He didn't make the list because Dustin doesn't like him. I think the post-hype. I love post-hype sleepers. So anyway, go to Kickstarter Fantasy Football University. Go to our homepage. Help us out. If we ever gave you any good advice, think about it. If we haven't, and you just want to be charitable, we'd appreciate that too.
Appreciate that too.
Thanks, guys.
So nice.
I can be nice sometimes, unlike you. You're the Grinch.